Welcome to this edition of the Native News Update. I'm your host for today's program, Paul Demain. Many of the stories read here can also be found at our website at IndianCountryNews.com. Here are the news stories for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. Secretary of the Interior Ken Salazar administered the oath of office to Larry Echo Hawk as Assistant Secretary of Indian Affairs this morning in a ceremonial event in the Sidney R. Yates Auditorium of the main Interior Building in Washington, D.C. Echo Hawk, 60, of the Pawnee Nation of Oklahoma, had his nomination by President Obama confirmed by the U.S. Senate on May 19th. Prior to his appointment, Echo Hawk served for 14 years as a professor of law at Brigham Young University's J. Reuben Clark Law School, where he taught federal Indian law, criminal procedure evidence, criminal trial practice, and published several scholarly papers. A former U.S. Marine, Echo Hawk built a civilian law career that has included legal services, private practice, being a tribal counselor, county prosecutor, and was elected in 1990 as Attorney General for the state of Idaho, the first American Indian to achieve that distinction. Maine has observed its first Native American Veterans Day. The Penobscot Nation celebrated the event this last Sunday with a sunrise ceremony at the Native American Church of Wabanaki Land at Indian Island, Maine. Charles Shea of Indian Island, a veteran of World War II and Korea, who was awarded the Silver Star for bravery on D-Day, said the stories of too many Native American veterans are being forgotten or lost. Shea said tribal members want recognition so their people and children can celebrate what Native Americans in Maine have done for the state and the country. Legislation enacted this past session establishes June 21st of each year as Native American Veterans Day in Maine. Fort Lewis College in Durango, Colorado is in line to receive a $1 million grant for its new student union if it can raise more than $500,000 on its own in less than 2 years. The college said this week that the Kresge Foundation agreed to award a capital challenge grant of $1 million if the school raises its challenge campaign goal of $566,000 by March 31st, 2011. The college had sought $500,000 from the foundation. Completion of the $37.5 million student union complex is expected in the year 2011. William Moses of the Kresge Foundation says the foundation is delighted to support an institution committed to educating Native Americans. Fort Lewis waives tuition for qualified Native American students, and its student body is about 20% American Indian. Twin sisters Jade and Spain Martinez of Oregon do a lot of things together, but were recently jumping for joy when notified they both received the Gates Millennium Scholarship. The Gates Millennium Scholarship is a national scholarship that attracted over 20,000 applicants and was awarded to 1,000 applicants, so the odds of them both winning seem slim. The scholarship will pay 100% of unmet financial need when the recent high school graduates head to Southern Oregon University this fall. Jade and Spain graduated from the Chiloquan High School on June 7th. At the graduation exercises, the girls were also each awarded the Leroy and Elvine Gainer Scholarship in the amount of $5,000 and the Gear Up Scholarship in the amount of $4,500 per year. Gates scholarships display the qualities of strong leadership, proven community service, and academic excellence. Both are members of the National Honor Society. Jade and Spain are members of the Confederated Tribes of Warm Springs and descendants of the Klamath tribes. They reside in Chiloquan with their grandparents Kathleen and Jeff Mitchell. Voting results show Calvin Coolidge Jefferson Jr. has been elected vice chairman of the Crow Tribe. In voting last weekend, Jefferson outpolled Darren Old Coyote by 300 votes of over 3,000 cast, according to results provided by the Crow Tribe's executive branch. Jefferson, who lives east of Harlem, Montana, has worked for Indian Health Service and Crow Agency for 23 years and ran for chairman of the tribe last fall, finishing second to Carl Venn. Jefferson has said his priorities will be health care, especially for the elderly, and dealing with the housing shortage on the reservation. 4 weddings and a funeral are already booked on the shadow of a 65-foot-long and 149-passenger tour boat that slid into the waters of Flathead Lake for the first time last week. The Quatuknuk The resort's new vessel, which previously operated on Lake Coeur d'Alene in Idaho, replaces the resort's 48-passenger Princess and opens up a wide variety of new on-the-water events. The Princess couldn't handle not just charters for weddings and funerals, but reunions, parties, and meetings. There'll be bingo and poker nights on board the boat and special evening events that could extend the boat's season deep into December before the lake levels drop. What a novel place for a company Christmas party. There you go. The Shadow will continue to run the 3 daily summer tours offered by the Princess as well, a morning jaunt around Polson Bay, the 3-hour afternoon cruise to Wild Horse Island, and a twilight trip. With a bar on board, the Shadow will also be in use when it's docked during happy hour. A California foundation has donated dozens of fruit trees to 2 southern Ute bands of the Paiute tribe. Volunteers from the San Diego-based Fruit Tree Planting Foundation spent last week and early this week planting the community orchids in reservation land owned by the Shivwits Band in Ivins and the Cedar Band in Hamilton Fort. About 85 trees were planted, including peaches, plums, nectarines, pomegranates, cherries, figs, and almonds. Volunteers also put in irrigation lines and donated tools for use in caring for the trees. Foundation Executive Director Sem Aiken says the organization works to bring good nutrition to families through programs that last decades. He says trees last longer than a single donation of food. You can find them on the net at www.ftpf.org. Save that July 2nd, 2009 date if you're in the Great Lakes area for the Great Lakes Indian Fish and Wildlife Commission's 25th anniversary celebration at Bayfield's Big Top Chautauqua. Drum and pipe ceremony, food and friends and entertainment with Bill Miller starting at 7:30. The event starts at 5 o'clock. Be sure to peek in tomorrow around noon for live streaming on the LCO Great Lakes Digital Player channel during the Honor the Earth Cookout fundraiser on the porch of the Indian Country Trading Post, and again on June 27th for Saturday's live, where people are stepping up to the camera and saying hi to their relatives in faraway places at IndianCountryTV.com. That's right here in the LCO Great Lakes Digital Channel. And that is the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. We want to thank our underwriters for helping us with this broadcast and you for joining with us again and again. Me, Gwetch, and have a great day.